Hey bookish besties, welcome back to my channel. You may have noticed that last week there was no video. There was some technical difficulties, so I just scrapped it. So now you have this week's video instead. We are going to be doing a mid-year check-in of all of my 2026 reading goals. At the time of filming this, it is not quite mid-year yet. I have to film this in advance, obviously, so I can edit and release it for mid-year. So at the time of filming this, it's a little bit early. It is June 17th right now, which only means that I have a little bit more time than half of a year. So that only benefits me. However, let's look through and see which goals I'm doing good at and which ones I'm not doing so good at. Before we do that, our little check-in of the day, I currently have 3 current reads, well 2, and then I'm starting the 3rd one. And that is The Gravewood, which I am buddy reading with a friend, and we are going to finish this before the end of June, so it will be updated as finished before you guys see this video. And I am about 50% into this one as of now. I also just started Ladies of the Night yesterday, which is a graphic novel arc that I received, and I'm about 50% in. I will probably finish it today. And then this one I haven't started, but I'm going to be starting my arc of This Blade of Ours, which I will also probably finish before this video is up, since it does come out later this month, June. Now, before we get started, let me know in the comments how you're doing on your reading goals, and let's get into looking at mine. I had quite a few goals for 2026, so we're going to go one by one on these. Number 1 was reading 150 books this year. I am currently at 75 books, which is right in line for mid-year, but since I'm recording this a little early, I'll probably get a few more books in besides the 150. So this one I'm doing good on. Goal number 2 was to read 75 books for my physical TBR. And this one felt a little bit ambitious because that means half of my books have to be physical TBR out of the 150. And I'm at 30 out of 75, so I'm a little bit behind there, but I already have like a few lined up for the rest of this month, so I'm hoping I can catch up to that before mid-year. Otherwise, I still know that I have a lot of these that I want to get to this year, so I think it'll be okay. Goal number 3 is to offload at least 5 books. I have not technically offloaded any books so far. However, I have a stack that I'm ready to bring to offload, and also fairy loots that I'm looking to put on my Pango, which then they'll be offloaded as well. And by the stack, I meant like to donate them. So I already have the stack is 5 already, and then I have some fairy loots that I'm going to try to sell on Pango. So I know it's going to be more than 5 already, so I'm not worried about this goal. Goal number 4 is to finish all of my reading challenges, and this is like the biggest one, so I'm going to save this for last to go through each of those challenges individually and look at how I'm doing with those. That being said, this one might have been too ambitious for me. We'll see. Goal number 5 was to attend 3 bookish events. I'm not the most social of people. Like, I get very awkward at social gatherings. So I was really worried about putting this on it again, because last year I completed it, but it felt like a little stressor for me. So I was worried about putting it. However, I already completed it, and it is June, so I'm very happy about that. And I do plan to go to a lot more later in the year. In October, we have our yearly festival here. So I'm excited to get to more bookish events than I planned. Goal number 6 is to have read the biggest book I own. Technically, this one is not completed yet, even though I marked it off on there. And that is because one of the books that I am planning to offload is bigger than the book that I am counting it on my shelf. So it's not the biggest book I own yet, but once I offload that, it will be. So I marked it off because I was planning to offload it much sooner. That being said, the book I am offloading is Hamilton, and that one is a really big historical technical one. So I didn't want to get to that. I DNF that this year, so that one will not be counting towards it. Goal number 7 was to get more creative with my posts, and this goes for both Instagram and YouTube and anything else that I create my posts on. And I honestly feel like I've really done this. I wanted to change things up a lot because I felt like the way I used to do them was a little bit basic. I also didn't like that my captions contain all my reviews, so I put my reviews in the post. That being said, I do feel like I got a lot more creative with them and trying to make them more fun each time. So I'm pretty proud of this one, and I did accomplish it. Goal 8 was to do a book buy ban for at least 2 months, and this one is also already completed. I don't have a huge library, and I've never felt super inclined to do like book buy bans, but I thought it would be fun this year to just try it for at least 2 months. I don't have that many books. These are all read, and this is my singular bookshelf of unread books. So that being said, I wasn't like super stressed about it, but I did do it really early on in the year because I don't usually buy that many books early in the year. So I did it early on in the year, and now that one's already completed, and maybe next year I'll do a few more months to see how I do then. Goal number 9 is to keep up with my fairy loots, and I am not doing the absolute best on this, but I feel like I'm okay. I currently have 3 on my shelf still, which I only get 2 a month, so not the best. I should already be done with them. That being said, the ones that are coming this month in June, I've already read both of them. So I'm kind of counting it like those are the ones that I haven't read. So I think I'm going to be okay. I think I'm going to be able to catch up on them and be already done with them because I got those ones as arcs. So I've read those already. I think I'll be okay. This one's okay. Goal number 10 was to do a readathon, and I was planning to do this in February. I had the date scheduled out. I was ready for this, and then it just wasn't the right mood for that day. I think I'd burnt myself out with too much reading during the week before the weekend day that I was doing it. And I got through like 40 minutes of reading before I was like, this is not what today's going to be like. It's just not going to work. I might try again later in the year, but I'm just kind of wondering if readathons aren't my thing. It kind of set me off from doing them because I didn't enjoy it that day. So I might try again. We shall see. Otherwise, I'm not stressed if I don't get to it. Goal number 11 was to start a book club, which I'm really proud to say that I did. We started it in March, and it is the Book Journalers Book Club. And we already have over 25 members now, and I'm really proud of the community we've built and this like really friendly group of reading journalers who also read a book together every month. It's really fun. And if you want to check it out, you can go over to my page at seas.library on Instagram, and we post our collab stuff on there, and also you can message me if you want to join. Goal number 12 was to read more BIPOC authors, and I haven't marked it off yet only because it's a little vague. Because more than what? More than last year? More than I'm used to? Like what? I don't know. I didn't know how to quantify that, and I usually mark these off based off of quantification. I think this is the same way I felt with the Get More Creative with My Post one. I just felt like I had started the year really strong with getting creative, and I've done well throughout that, so I was like, that one's good. This one, I feel like I have read more BIPOC authors, but I unfortunately not super conscious of it. And I wasn't conscious last year, so I would have to go back and count the BIPOC authors that I read last year to be able to quantify it into a number. That being said, I do feel like I've been a little more conscious this year, so I am feeling like I'm doing good on that one, but we shall see. Goal number 13 is to only buy 10 spontaneous book buys. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like I have a long list for my wish list of books I want to read, but I don't own. And when I go out to the store, I end up just kind of picking up random books, new books or whatever. And I didn't want to take away from my wish list because sometimes I buy them and then I'm like, oh, I should have just bought this book I've been eyeing for forever. So this goal with this is to kind of limit that. So I would buy from my wish list and have it more thought out versus like a random buy that I buy that day. That being said, I've bought, I think, 3 or 4 spontaneous buys. I haven't kept track of it as much as I should have, but it's not that much. So I think I'm okay for this goal. I have been more conscious of it throughout the year. Goal number 14 and the final goal on this list is to read a book with my love. And my fiance and I have already chosen out the book that we are going to read this year together. We just haven't gotten around to it because he's currently reading a different book and it takes him a while to get to his books. Once he finishes that book, we are going to set aside the time to read that one, the buddy read one together. He just needs to request it from the library because I have it on my shelf. And then we are going to read that one together, and I'm excited for that. Now we go back to goal 4, which is to complete all my reading challenges and look through each of those reading challenges to see how I'm doing there. For my 26 for 2026, which is 26 books I've set out to read in 2026, I am at 13 out of 26 completed and 1 DNF. I'm not going to count the DNF against me because how was I supposed to know I'm not going to enjoy that book? So I'm going to count it as 14 out of 26 completed, which is ahead of schedule, so I'm doing good on this one. As far as the alphabet challenge goes, I'm doing really well. I just have a few letters that I think are going to be really hard to get to. J, K, X, Y, and Z are the only other ones still there. I feel like Y should be a lot easier, but I haven't gotten to one yet. That being said, I think I'm going to get to at least Y. I think I have a J or a K lined up. I'm hoping to get to at least like maybe 3 more of these, and then if the other 2 aren't completed, I'm not going to be disappointed by that. They're just really hard to get to. If you have recommendations for ones that fill out those letters, let me know. For my book bingo, it looks like I'm doing really well. I only have 1 book left, or 1 box of my bingo left, which is a book that makes me cry, and I'm just really worried about this one, even though there's only 1 left for the rest of the year, only because that's the one I tried to fill out as soon as possible. And since I haven't cried during any of them, it's not filled out. I'm just worried I'm not going to get to a book that will make me cry this year. It's hard for me to feel that much emotion while reading. I don't really cry when I watch movies or anything like that. So I'm hoping I get to this, but I'm a little worried about it, even though there's only 1 left. So it's a really good ratio, but I'm worried. Let's see. Finally, we have my 6 book, 6 friends. And this is technically the one I'm doing the worst on, but I'm not super worried about it. I've only read 2 book recommendations from my 6 friends, and that means there's only 4 left. So I think that's gonna be easy to catch up on. So I'm not super worried about it. It's just that it's not a good ratio yet for mid-year. I'll get to it. Don't worry about it. And those are all of my reading goals and where I'm at with them. Honestly, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. It's not quite where I'd want to be with them, even like the 75 out of 150. I set it to 150 because I thought that was like definitely accomplishable, and then I wanted to get to more than that. Which I don't know. I think I'm a little hard on myself, but I've been trying to be more lax with my goals and just kind of let it be how it wants to be. I don't want reading to ever be like not fun. So I think I'm doing good. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. So I think that's as good as it gets. I'm happy. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to comment down below how you're doing with your reading goals. We can chat a little about it and just, I don't know, check in. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy reading!